Hello, hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. This is your weekly timeless reading where we are encouraged to anchor these frequencies that we all need on earth right now. So if you're listening to this and you step up and start wearing the frequencies, thank you. I know all the guys that are in here in the space with me are very grateful because the more people wear them, broadcast them, the larger the ripple effect. So this week I was called to use the Rose Pink Spritzer, the color mirror one, Rose Pink. So this is about love, deepening of love, qualities of divine love, mother's love, self-love. It's about a deepening of receiving, and this spritzer is particularly good also for any emotional trauma. I also have the Venus goddess here, or Aphrodite goddess, who represents passion, ecstasy, creation, fertility, romantic love, but also trust, self-trust, self-love, compassion. So I've called all of that into the space with me. I am going to start by using the spritzer. I'm going to rub it in my hand, I'm going to smell it, and then I'm going to fluff all my aura with it. So I'm calling in all this divine love, this mother's love, all this self-love into the space with us today. Okay, so let's pull the very first card. What is it? What frequency needs to be anchored by all of us this week? What do we need more of? Oh, one just jumped out. Empathy. That's lovely. Look at the colors, they match. I couldn't have made that up. So the frequency of empathy, as you can see on this card. So here is the Sirian perspective on empathy. On Sirius, we are highly empathetic beings. How could we not be? We care deeply about the well-being of others, and doing so requires no sacrifice of self. Compassion and consideration for others are among our highest values, and we take pride in looking after our own. Earthlings have a curious relationship with empathy. It's valued, yet also often seen as a weakness. You may be told that you care too much, are too open or too sensitive, absorbing and feeling the world's woes too deeply. But these are qualities to honor and preserve, not to feel ashamed of. We also speak about resonance, the idea that your energy field resonates with others' suffering. It's impossible to be fully immune to others' pain, and nor should you be. It's a call to action. When you sense suffering, you don't need to take it on. Earthlings tend to absorb others' suffering rather than transmute it. Many believe that feeling another's pain indicates a resonance within themselves, but on Sirius, empathy and resonance are essential to the health of our society. They show that your heart is open, your energies are transparent, and you value reciprocity. Suffering is merely energy that needs to surface and be transformed. And this can easily be done in a group setting where shared energy allows for suffering to be both expressed and dissolved simultaneously. Rather than closing off, we stay open. You don't need to carry the world's woes. Instead, you can gently transmute them by sharing with your community, dancing, clearing your energy, or simply allowing it to flow in and out. There's no need to attach to this energy. Suffering is just energy in need of transformation. So this week, you're being asked to reflect on your relationship with empathy. Do you feel other people's suffering deeply, or are you closed off? Are your boundaries too rigid or too porous? Where might you cultivate a balanced sense of compassionate detachment? And you're encouraged to say the Ho'oponopono prayer. So you're being encouraged to use this symbol when you're feeling overwhelmed, to strengthen your energetic boundaries or cultivate detached compassion, allowing energy to transmute through you. Consider creating an empathy group with this goal in mind. This is the week for you to look at your relationship to empathy. You know, do you empathize, or is the world so overwhelming that you've just shut yourself off? I mean, it's understandable for a lot of people. Like, there's so much going on. Like, I feel like we either become immune to it, or we shut off because we can't hold all of that pain and suffering and madness that's going on. So part of what this card is asking us all to do is to hold this energy in a different way. When you are faced with things that you don't understand, but also touch you so deeply, it is the opportunity to all come together and transmute that suffering. You know, a lot of people just carry their suffering and don't know how to transmute it. If you see that suffering is an energy that just needs to move and it's dynamic, then you can help others move through, and that would be empathetic. So it's kind of a form of A, accountability with your energy, B, it's also knowing that it's all supposed to be moving. It's when it stops moving that we lose this ability to empathize and to connect with people and to have this detached compassion that's so needed. And we don't want people to detach. We don't want people to not care. We want people to care, but we want also the antidote to that care. This week I'm looking at Black Lilith. Black Lilith is an asteroid. Well, it's a point. It's not really an asteroid or a planet, but it's something that's in astrology, and it came into my field this week, and then my husband out of the blue bought me an oracle deck about the Black Moon Lilith, and I thought, oh, so I'm going to use a card from that deck, the Black Lilith deck. So Black Moon Lilith represents the part of us that often we're ashamed of, the part of us that is repressed, the part of us that holds a lot of power. It's represented in lots of different ways, and it's the wild feminine because it's so dark. But I thought it would be interesting to see in relation to this empathy piece, what is the energy that needs to be released in all of us, and see if we can get a little bit more information about it. So what Black Moon Lilith do we want to look at? So the card I got is Asherah, Mother of the Gods. And I'll put it there and see what we're told about her. Asherah was the ancient divine feminine goddess, mother of the gods, whom the ancients worshipped as the queen of heaven. So when her oracle card shows up in a reading, consider matters involving the home, mother, and your family tree. Not everyone has a nurturing and healthy experience with maternal energy in their life. So if this applies, the shadows around this can feel difficult. Issues of fertility in children can arise. It's time to face what has been hiding beneath the surface. Because she's also about fertility, and she's an example of how powerful dark feminine figures have been demonized by male-dominated religious patriarchy. She was considered evil, a false god that one should not worship for fear of punishment. So the repressed part is we're not allowing, it's about this feminine energy that's not allowing to surface, and she comes through as nurture yourself, heal, and tap into the wisdom of the supreme goddess. That's her message. And it's about re-examining our relationship to maternal energy in our life. Were you nurtured as a young child? Was the feminine energy, whether it was held by the father figure or the mother figure or somebody else, was it healthy? And did you feel nurtured in the way you needed it to do? Because that is the key to empathy. If when you were going through hard times, you did not have nurturing, loving, available feminine energy to walk next to you, then it makes this piece very, very difficult. So it's a call to look at your relationship to the mother, and then your relationship to the earth as an extension, because she is the mother of all earth, and she's, in this case, she's also the queen of heaven. It's the mother of the gods, but it's also our relationship to creation in general. If we don't have this nurturing, loving piece, it's very difficult for us to access other parts of this love and compassion, especially the empathy, because to have empathy, you kind of need to have a compassion and empathy for yourself first. So I'm going to pull another card to see what would be the resolution of this, like what is required. So if we look, if this is what needs to be anchored, and this is kind of what's preventing this energy to be anchored, like what is needed, what is needed, what understanding is needed beyond that to have access to all of that. Spirit, show me what it is that people need to understand. I have this card, loyalty. So it feels like it's a wound of loyalty, like out of loyalty for our family and our loved ones, we don't want to go and unearth all those energies. Very interesting. So within family groups and communities, there's a sense of, I guess, a deep sense of loyalty, and things are kept in place out of loyalty often, and I think to the detriment of many and the community. Out of allegiance and loyalty, and that's just the way things are done. We allow things to be maintained. So in a way, the loyalty is in the way of the nurturing, the empathy. So it's also a week to look at where your loyalties lie, and if they're still actual and adequate, or if they're still really preventing your ability to receive that nurturing and that self-love and that self-compassion that's so needed right now in the world. Okay, and then let's just look at just any more information that we can get about this. Spirit, just to Tilika. Okay, So we have Windchimes, peace and harmony. So I think if we get this peace, this inner peace where, you know, we're not allowed, we're not in tune with the self-nurturing and the self-loving and the self-compassion, then we can't get to this peace and harmony. So this is about really looking at how much nurturing, how much love you got, and this ability to have self-compassion. Because if you're going through a hard time and you have nobody to hold that place of compassion and love for you, then how can you extend it to somebody else? And that's kind of what it's all about. Okay, and then just one more, Spirit. What is it that we need to hear here? Okay, we have a Tower. Solid foundation, success without effort. So we had Windchime, which is all about peace and harmony, and then the Tower, which talks about having solid foundations and success without effort. So that's kind of the continuation of the cycle. If you think that we started with empathy, and that's the frequency that needs to be anchored by all of us, and then we move to Asherah showing us what the shadow is of this, you know, the lack of nurturing that we received as children by the feminine principle in our family, whatever that is, and where we would not receive with compassion and nurturing and empathy. So this is where all the energy is held within us as a shadow. And the other piece of this is that out of family loyalty, because that's just the way things are done, you know, it's a place that you don't want to go to, because if you don't hold on to that family loyalty, then what do you have, right? A lot of family stuff stays underground because of that. But look, we're going towards peace and harmony, a solid foundation, success without effort, and where we can all anchor and embody this frequency of empathy. So the frequencies you can see is this one, 395, 82, 95, 76, 92, 53. So you could replace it, replace the one from last week with this one, and where that, remember the monthly one is still very accurate and still for at least another 2 weeks. But so this week, you know, since the beginning, since the Rose Pink came through, it's all been about divine love, mother's love, self-love, and our ability to receive more and to open up to more. It's also the spritzer of trauma, emotional trauma. So that's in the field too. And as you know, Venus, Aphrodite is all about passion, ecstasy, self-love, self-trust, compassion. The card for the week is empathy. And so that's what we're being asked to anchor. So thank you to everybody who's stepping up to do that, to hold more of that within them, and to continue broadcasting it out and making it available to people around you who might not have the experience of what that feels like, and who are desperately trying to hold on to old loyalties that no longer exist. So remember that when the frequency comes up and you start wearing it, your ability to be an empath is going to be triggered, which means you might be more sensitive than usual. But it's also an opportunity to put up really clear boundaries with the world, and only decide that you let unconditional love in and out of you. And it's also the opportunity to kind of teach what it is we're all trying to learn, which is more empathy, and not losing ourselves in the empathy. And, you know, look at your loyalties. Where do your loyalties lie? To your religion, to your culture, to your family? Are they still good loyalties? You might want to really think about that. What's more important? You know, if you think that we're all souls, we're all incarnating at the same time for the same thing, and that souls don't have a gender, don't have a culture, don't have a religion, you know, where are your loyalties? So something really to think about, and then to look at the relationship with your mother. I think by, or the mother or the feminine principle, I think that by wearing the frequency, that will come up no matter, it will be. But, you know, part of this is awareness, right? So if you start thinking about, you know, where you would have wanted more support, and you start giving that, maybe that's kind of the antidote too. I think we don't need more polarization or hysteria. What we need is real, true, grounded empathy, where when we realize that what's happening to somebody else is actually happening to us all at the same time, how can we not have empathy for that? Have a beautiful week. Be gentle to yourself and nurture yourself, and may the emotional traumas of our collective be transmuted by all of us this week. Namaste.